In the previous video, we unboxed Barnacle, the new troll for Moonstone, but now we're going to take a look at Souls of the Deep. Welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games, I'm Lee, and in this video I'll be unboxing Souls of the Deep, the new set for Moonstone that you can play with either Dominion or Shades of Moonreach. These are the new pirate-themed models, and they look fantastic. You've got a real diverse range in here, a fairy, a crabman, and a ghost as well, so you're going to get lots of fun out of this. I think they're going to be great and designed to play together in the same troop, but you could also just take them and mix them up with some of the other models you've got in your collection, and I think you're going to have loads of fun. Let's get them unboxed then. We'll have a close-up look at the sprues, then I'll get them built, have a look at the models when they're fully assembled, and then we can go through the character cards one at a time in detail so you know exactly what these new characters are going to do on the table. As always, these come with some of the protective foam, different colour. Usually it's white, a little bit of a darker grey here, which is nice but super soft, so you know that these high quality resin casted models are going to be well protected. We're going to get 3 cards there and 3 bases as well. And some models in Moonstone, if you've built them before, you'll know that they're really easy to put together. Some come with a lot more components though, so a little bit more gluing required. But I'll take you through some of the key points that stood out to me when I assembled this set, and hopefully that's going to help you out. Make sure to check down the bottom right hand corner so you know which size base to use before you start putting the models together. So you can see here 30mm, 30mm, and we've also got a larger 40mm one there. Here we go then, let's have a look at the 3 models, and we're going to begin with the first one, Brigid, which is the fairy pirate, and just be careful taking these out of the bags. I was a little bit rough here, I should have been a bit more careful with the wing. I didn't break it, but just be careful because these are quite fragile models, especially the ones with wings and things like that. So yeah, take your time getting them out. Here we are, here's Brigid then, a fantastic sculpt again, and these newer sculpts, especially the Shades of Moonreach models that I've been unboxing recently, are really super crisp. There's hardly any cleanup to do, and on this one you can see that can't even make out any mold lines really, and so going to be very quick to put together. I like to prepare my resin models by washing them first, so check out that video that I'll link to at the end of this one that takes you through some tips and tricks on how to get your models ready to glue and paint together. This is a fantastic piece, I love this. You've got the waves there coming up with the skulls in them, and that's going to be really nice to paint. I can imagine some contrast paints maybe working well on that. We'll have to wait and see. And if you want to see any of these models painted up, you can place a vote in the comments down below for either Barnacle, the model I unboxed in the previous video, and then any of these 3, and I'll be painting one of them this week. So let me know by Wednesday which one you'd like to see. I'll add up, see who wins, and then that will be the model that I'll feature in a painting video. But here's the next one, Commodore Delahaye. I love the idea of this. I don't think I've seen anything like this in any other model. They've basically split him up so he's going to appear like a ghost, and you can see right through him, and I think that's really clever how they've done that. And he's really easy to put together. That's not going to take long at all. But we've got Chesapeake here, a spirit animal pirate, and this one is going to have a few more components. But what a great idea. We've got this crabman that's going to be walking around. That's going to look so awesome once he's painted and on the table. And loads of character here. Details again, really well done. Very crisp. Not much tidy up to do. I love that. On the back there that we're going to put on the shell, you've got all the different items within this net, and you'll find out later when we go through the character cards just how those are kind of played out in the narrative through his different abilities. So that's Chesapeake. That's going to probably take the longest to build. We'll make sure he goes on that bigger 40mm base. And if you haven't seen these bases before, these are the nice curved ones, but they've also got the lip so that when you start putting all your materials for basing on, you've got a nice little frame there to enclose them all in. And then underneath, you've got room, if you want to place some magnets on them. There we go, that's all the miniatures unpacked now. We're going to glue them together, and because they're resin models, we're going to be using super glue. I like to use Loctite super glue power gel for all of these. That's my favourite. I use a little knife, a little scalpel blade here as well. Any craft knife like that's going to work. Sometimes I'll use a little file like I did with the previous model Barnacle, and I'll use some clippers as well. For Commodore Delahaye here, I've trimmed him off the sprue, but I've left a little bit on the base there. So when we place that in, it's going to keep him just raised a little bit off. You can see it's just overlapping the bottom of the base as it goes through the slot. But I want to put some of the different Vallejo base fillers underneath his foot. So I want to have him a little bit off the base when I glue it on. So that's going to help just hold it in while the glue catches. It's not going to be much, maybe just 1 or 2 millimeters, but it does make a difference when you add your base in materials. I find when I've got any models like Bridget here where you've got a nice flat area, it's good to just quickly run your file over just to rough up and texture the base. It's going to be very fine, but it really does help that glue get in and adhere to the model nice and fast. I'll glue that water and skull feature in first though, and I'm just going to place it on there before I add the glue. Because this is quite a big model, I want to make sure it's in the right place on the base, and you'll see the slot is just off center, so if we did it the other way around, it's just not going to look right. It's always a good idea to offer it up before you glue it. And there we go. How cool is that? This is going to be an awesome one once it's painted up too. And these 3 characters are so different, and that's what I love about Moonstone. You get such a huge variety within the range. With Bridget, once she'd finally set there, I added the wing on as the last piece. Now on to Chesapeake. I played around with the idea of gluing on the feet first. You can see they're completely off the sprue, so I've ran my file along there, and then I decided in the end though to go and assemble him fully before I put him on the base. And I'll just use my knife to hold things like the arm in place as it sets, and then once that's fully set and ready to go, I'll offer it up to the base again so I know where I'm going to glue it, and then I'll add some little dots of glue on every single piece that is going to make contact with the base. And then you can see there, I've tried once already, but I didn't like the position, so I took him off, and I'm just rearranging it so I make sure I get it exactly where I want it to go. And here he is now glued to the base. You can see he's quite a large model, even on that 40mm base. And so I've just positioned it so his harpoon is resting on the base. You've got those little like ball things on that weapon that are going to drag along. I've placed those in the slot just to give it a little bit extra grip. And there we go, all the models assembled now. They look so cool, so different, yet they're all going to work together and play really well with their abilities. But I love the idea of mixing these up and including them in different troops for Dominion or Shades of Moonreach. You've just got so much variety here, but they're going to be really fun once we add Barnacle to the mix and just play a little fun troop using these. Maybe some other pirates, I'm not sure yet which other ones I would add to it. But to get started, you can't go wrong with these 2 sets. Now we're on to the character cards. I like to add some protective sleeves. These are the clear classic Dragon Shield ones. You can get these in boxes of 100. They're 66.5 by 92.5mm. These are perfect to look after your cards. You can also write on them using whiteboard pens, so when you're playing the game you can tick off the damage as they lose it. Okay, let's start working our way through the cards. We'll start with Chesapeake here, who's got the keywords Spirit, Animal and Pirate, 2-inch melee, a 2-inch range, 3 arcane, +1 evade. His first passive ability is Barnacle Encrusted Shell, where we reduce all non-magical damage suffered by -1, so he's going to be pretty robust. Then we've got Stock to the Gills, 1 energy, 4-inch range. You can only use this once per turn, and our target is going to need the pirate keyword and reload as well. So they need that reload ability, and then they may immediately use the reload ability without spending any energy. So he's going to be a great partner to pair up with Bridget or Commodore Delahaye, as you'll see later on. Then for the arcane ability, we've got Junk Toss, 1 energy, 4-inch range, once per turn again. Any colour now we can look for in any number, and each one is going to do something different. So green, the target suffers X piercing damage as he throws that harpoon. If it's blue, the target suffers 1 wound, then is moved X inches directly away. So maybe we're bashing them or throwing something heavy at them. Then we've got pink, the target cannot take the jog action until end of turn. That's going to be for the net, I believe. And then the catastrophe, this model will suffer 4 wounds. So a huge damage there to Chesapeake if he gets that wrong. Next up, we've got Gone Fishing for 2 energy, 4-inch range. Resolve this action with +2 arcane stat if there is a water feature within 4 inch of this model. So again, we need water features just as we did with Barnacle to make this work. And then for blue, any number, the target restores X wounds. And the catastrophe, this model suffers 3 wounds. So he can take a lot of wounds here if he gets any of these 2 abilities wrong. But great, there's so much variety here. He can deal damage and move models around and heal them too. We've already seen he's got that 40mm base and the faction rune marks at the top, but at the bottom here, we've got 9 health, 3 energy, and we're starting to lose that close towards the end. And so that, yeah, he's going to be pretty robust. He can stay around and do a few things as you get playing. We're going to flip over the signature move on a thrust, and this is called Crushing Pressure. This will be impact damage, and no matter what the opponent plays, 1 damage is going to be dealt. And then at the bottom here, this attack deals no damage against models which are further than 1 inch away though. So although he's got a 2 inch range, you want to get in close to make the most of this. And then the end step effect, if the enemy suffered 1 or more wounds during this round of melee, they must discard an energy. So if you can get in close there, in base contact within that inch, then you can certainly do some damage and also reduce their energy. There we go then. He's got a lot to offer, but let's have a look at what Bridget can do. And here we go, Bridget, and she's got the keywords Fairy and Pirate. And Bridget is going to be on the regular base, so we're down here it tells us 30mm and the faction rune mark again for both the Dominion and Shades. Melee 3, range of 1 inch, Arcane 4, evade -2. Then we've got some passive abilities. We've got 3 altogether, which is nice. First one is Feeble. Reduce all melee damage this character deals by -2. And Harvest actions cost this model +1 energy. Pretty common with fairies. Then Spirits of the Fallen. Once per turn, this model may use an arcane ability printed on a friendly slain model, ignoring any once per game restrictions, paying its costs as normal. So that's really nice. You can start taking on some of those abilities from models that have been slain. Love that. Then we've got Reload. This is where it's going to work nicely with Chesapeake. Fairy Fire Pistol, 2 energy. The named ability can be used again. This ability cannot be used while this model is engaged. Very nice. Then we've got Fairy Fire Pistol here as our first arcane ability. 1 energy, 8 inch range once per game unless it's reloaded. And the target suffers X magical damage if any pink is revealed. And then Catastrophe. This character suffers 2 wounds. Then we've also got another one, Poor Unfortunate Souls, 3 energy, 6 inch range, once per turn. Blue, target character restores X wounds, then loses X energy. But also for pink, the target pirate gains X energy and suffers X wounds. So a nice swap there between wounds and energy. You have to weigh that up though. And the Catastrophe, this character suffers 3 wounds. Signature move is on a low guard, and we can see with 6 health and 5 energy, Bridget's going to be pretty handy. She can shoot a few times and do quite a lot there, so that's really interesting. As we flip it over, we can see Sink to the Deep is the upgrade for that low guard. No damage is dealt, but we're going to reduce damage suffered by -1, and if there is at least 1 friendly slain non-thrall character, instead, we can reduce damage suffered to none at all. So she could pretty much stay in the game for quite a while if she can make use of that upgrade for the low guard. Next up, we've got the third and final character, Commodore Delahaye, and he's got the Spirit and Pirate keywords here. And again, we've got the factions at the top that we can use it with, both those 2 factions, and a 30mm base. Melee for Commodore Delahaye is 3, range 2. Arcane is 3, and Evade is -1. Some nice stats there. And then we've got our first passive ability, which is called Worlds Old and New. It tells us if your faction is Shades, when this model is deployed, place a 50mm water feature within 6 inches and line of sight on open ground. But if your faction is Dominion, when a friendly pirate within 6 inches jogs, it may ignore the effects of slow and slow carry, and you can use this once per turn. So that's nice how we've got 2 abilities there, 1 for each faction. I like that. Then we've got Cutlass. If this model deals slicing melee damage, increase damage dealt by +1. Lovely. And then on to Old Pirate's Curse. 1 energy, 8 inch range once per game. Target without the black spot gains the black spot. Enemy pirate gains +1 arcane stat when targeting this character with an action. This character suffers 1 wound during the discard step, and we do this until the end of the game. Then other enemies with the black spot lose it. So like that, you can impose a curse on anyone that starts messing with you. Really cool, like that one. And then we've also got another passive ability here, Reload, where we can shoot our pistol, which we'll see in a moment. And that's going to cost us 2 energy. The named ability can be used again. This ability cannot be used while this model is engaged. So the named ability is Shoot Pistol, which is here for 1 energy, 8-inch range, once per game unless reloaded, again tying in with Chesapeake, and we're looking for green, and the target is going to suffer X plus 1 impact damage. The catastrophe will be the character suffers 3 wounds. Then we've got 7 health and 3 energy, and a signature move on thrust called 21 Ghoul Salute. This is impact damage, very nice, and here now we're looking to deal 0 or 1 damage to our enemy, but again at the bottom we've got a little condition, and it tells us this attack can damage models outside this character's melee range and deals +1 damage for each other friendly pirate with the reload ability within 4 inches. So a lot going on here with Commodore Delahaye, and in fact with all of these 3 characters. So I think working those together with the brute force of Barnacle is going to be a real fun combo. I hope you found this video helpful and now know exactly what to expect from Souls of the Deep and these 3 new characters, Commodore Delahaye, Brigid and Chesapeake. These 3 are designed to work so well together on the tabletop, but also to split them up and play them with other characters when you put together your troop and your own style of play. Adding Barnacle to this set would be a great addition, and they're both available and links are down in the description below. Also, let me know in the comments which one you'd like me to paint this week, and in the next couple of days I'll total up the winning comment, and then that will be the model that I'll feature in the next video. Don't forget to check out all the other videos in the Moonstone series. There's loads on there now, including the unboxing of the new starter set, Life and Death Struggle, and I've been working my way through the characters in there with painting videos, included Jada here, and I've also been looking at different techniques and colour theory, and also using minimal number of paints to achieve some really fun and cool results for your models on the tabletop. I've also been painting lots of other miniatures from the other factions, including Dim and Dimmer here, and if unboxing videos are your thing and you want to find out what the characters can do, check out some like Rebold, the Goblin Airship, what a model, and also this fantastic Boris the Bunny Summoner set. So lots to look out for if you're interested in Moonstone, including the full How to Play Moonstone series to get you up and running in no time. Thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to check out Barnacle if you haven't seen it already, and let me know which one you'd like to paint in the comments. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.